Is tennis in trouble? The ATP World Tour Finals is on right now. There's no Federer, there's no Nadal. Who's even watching?
People have been watching for the last 2 years without Federer and Nadal because they've hardly been around. We talk about this great rivalry and I think it's the greatest rivalry ever in the sport of tennis. It's kind of dead, right? They haven't played a single match this year. They played one match in 2015 and the last time they played in a Grand Slam final was 2011. So the rivalry is kind of done and people are watching, and I think tennis has not been in trouble all this while. In fact, it's on the verge of having a fantastic rivalry that's emerging right in front of us in Djokovic and Murray. The passion may not be as much as it is with the Roger and Rafa rivalry, but the tennis, it's sublime.
So the Undertaker has already spoken apparently, but the point is this, that these two players are bigger than the sport. I do not subscribe to the cliche that individuals are greater than the sport. These two guys were. And you know why? In today's day and age, with the advent of social media and how close fans are to players, they are a part of their lives. They're emotionally invested. Players are tweeting, they're Facebooking, they're talking about their private lives, behind the scenes, personal moments. The point is that these two players are much like Sachin Tendulkar was to Indian cricket in the 90s, too big and much bigger than the sport.
No sportsman in the history of sports has been bigger than the sport. Look, take a look at tennis, right? People thought Connors, Borg, McEnroe was the greatest. It was followed by Becker, Edberg. It was followed by Sampras, Agassi. It was followed by Rafa, Roger, which is now being followed by Djokovic and Murray. And few years down the line, there'll be another rivalry that comes in. No one is ever bigger. They are the biggest in a sport and they help increase the love for the sport, but you never end up being bigger than it. And a cliche is a cliche for a reason.
Anyway, back to the ATP Tour Finals. Supremely boring. I'm moved that it should become a 4-player tournament. The top 4, maybe reconsider the ATP crown. Let the top 4 fight for it. It will be a treat for spectators, a treat for followers, a treat for fans, and the hardest tournament to win on the ATP Tour.
And that's another dumb suggestion by the young Kartikeya Rao. No, you can't just keep changing the format. You can't keep changing the format because you don't like the players that are playing this year and you are bored by it. You weren't bored by it the year before. You weren't bored by it 2 years before that when you had Djokovic and Federer playing in the final. But suddenly, because those two players are not there, let's change the format. You can't do that. It doesn't make any sense.
Pranav is going to be watching Dominic Thiem and Milos Raonic all evening today, but we want to know whether you guys are watching the ATP Tour Finals.